for the best sports in Lorain. That's TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Hello and welcome to the 2012 Nationwide Holiday Classic at Lorain High School. My name is Julian Ralston, and with me is Narcisco and Cherokee, both former wrestlers in Lorain. We're going to be bringing you today live action from Lorain High, mainly checking out our wrestlers from the city and also the surrounding schools in the county. There's going to be a lot of tough competition over the next 2 days, and today we're going to bring you rounds 1 and 2. You excited for today, Cisco?
Yes, I am, Julian. We got a lot of good teams. It's usually a good tournament every year.
It is. You remember wrestling in it?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, those are some good matches. We both had some good ones here.
Yep.
It's nice to be back at Southview High School, too, you know, with them working on the new high school in Lorain.
Definitely.
It kind of has like a home feeling. This is where the tournament usually has been, but it is a smaller gym, though. It was nice at Emerald King, the size of the gym. Alrighty, so it looks like they're getting all the wrestlers ready, and we'll be back after this.
One visual, and you have the lead on the right. You have the lead on the right. Sights on. Left 9 now. Nothing else. You got the airspeed on me. Visual. Oh, there you are. Darn, I was hoping you wouldn't see me. Yeah, it's my turn to gun track. Let's do that one again. Okay?
Just in case you didn't catch the number the first time.
Up on mat number 1, we have Caleb Kopp wrestling for Lorain High at the 105-pound weight class. Looks like he got caught in some trouble early. He's going to scramble out of this cradle. Seems that tough move. You know, Caleb's a freshman, so that's a tough match. Gaining some good experience here. Over to mat number 3, we have wrestling at the 105 weight class, also from Lorain, is freshman Devin Edwards. He worked a cradle of his own there. It was a nice move, nice setup. Cisco, you're down from wrestling at Notre Dame College, correct?
Yes, I am.
And you've been going to practice with the high school team. How's that been going?
It's going good. Been working with a lot of the kids. I mean, a lot of them are scrappy, so I mean, it's basically the same as what it was in high school for us. Just a lot of scrappers on the team.
And Devin's a freshman coming in. He's looking very tough this year. Have you had a chance to wrestle him in practice?
Yeah, he's very quick and he knows what he's doing. Like, he knows all the moves he's hitting. You know, he has good positioning. He never really gets out of position too much.
He has a nice stack there. Looks like the shoulders are in balance. Oh, just 3 back points. Working for another turn. Gives him one escape. Looks like he's wrestling a wrestler from Kirtland. They've been going to this tournament for a number of years. Nice throw by to the half. It's a nice way that he just transitions his moves. Potentially dangerous situation, so the ref wants us to restart the wrestlers. Devin chooses to wrestle on his feet. Now, I remember wrestling in high school. That's something you did quite often. You chose to wrestle on your feet a lot.
Yeah, I wasn't too good on the mat, so.
Well, it also brings you a lot of advantages in your strategy.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're strong on your feet, so. And there's the fall. Nice match by Devin, way to start the tournament.
Yeah, he had a very dominating performance.
Looks like on mat 2, we have Michael Kopp. This tournament, he's wrestling at 113?
Yeah, 113 pounds.
Nice double. Good scramble. Looks like we got some funky wrestlers here. Gonna see a lot of scrambles, a lot of almost takedowns. Yep, Michael's doing a nice job of defending the takedown, not giving up any easy points. I'm gonna get that leg. Michael doing a good job of keeping his base. He wants to try and work up to his feet now. Neither wrestler really getting any advantage or the upper hand in this position. And as a restart, we like to see Michael get a nice first move off the whistle. He got the hand control. There it is. Keep turning, keep turning.
Hop the hip.
Nice technique by Michael to hop that hip.
Once he gets his head popped out, he'll get his reversal.
Wants to hang onto that leg and keep circling how he did earlier. Switch to a fireman's. Nice chain wrestling by Michael Kopp. Way to switch or keep 2 or 3 moves going. And as we go to the second period, the score is 2-2. And it's like the opponent chooses the down position. These are some similar wrestlers. It looks like they both went for the same move from the down position. Have a similar strategy and similar style. And there's the reversal, making the score 4-2. Michael Kopp of Lorain High down 2 points with a minute left to go in the second period. Well, that's something no wrestler wants to be in, the boots. Looks like they stopped the match for blood time. You notice the Lorain High coach is getting in some extra words to Michael. Any break in the match, you want to save your voice and not have to yell at the coach. We see in his corner we have head coach Jimmy Kudrin, first-year head coach for Lorain High, and assistant coach Sonny Martinez, or Uncle Sonny as everybody likes to call him, because technically he is your uncle, but you know.
Yeah. Great coach though. He's always helping out, doing as much as he possibly can to help out the team.
The ref signals to cut blood time, so I guess they're going to be getting ready to go back into action here. like they're looking for the trainer. Maybe they need to clean the mat still. Also, we would like to let you know, seniors and parents, that you want to mark your calendars for the LCS Financial Aid Night. It's going to be taking place Thursday, January 24th, 2013 at 6 p.m. It's going to be here at Lorain High School. And Dave Newman from College Now Greater Cleveland will be presenting. And the Lorain Community Foundation will also present scholarship information. There will be light refreshments provided. And if you have any questions, you can contact your school counselor at 277-1176. That's 277-1176. And here we go. Looks like they're ready to start back to the match. Score is 4-2. Lorain High's Michael Copps finds himself down 2 points with about 45 seconds left to go in the second period. He's working for a reversal of his own. Nice job of hooking the leg. He locks his hands. That'll be a cradle, and he will have 2 points. And there it is. Ref gives him 2, making the score 4-4, I believe. Nice tilt. Oh, wants to hang on to that arm. And a reversal. I'm not sure if he was rewarded any back points there because it was a quick count, but given the new reversal, it makes the score 6-4 as we go into the third period. Michael chooses the down position, seeing as how he has reversed his opponent twice. A nice strategic move. Hopefully it works out again for him. And here we go. Both wrestlers like to wrestle with the legs in. Something you did more than I did. What advantages does that bring to the match?
Especially when short time or when you're trying to basically stall out an opponent, you'll throw in legs just to take down as much time as you can before them escaping.
Yeah. But also, it's very, it wears your opponent down. It's very hard, you know, him carrying all your weight. You know. Max is doing a good job of keeping his base, though. What he would like to work is to get that leg out of his legs. Careful. Keep scooting, keep scooting. About a minute left in this third period. Michael Copps still down 2 points. Neither wrestler really find themselves in an advantage here as Michael works to his base, but hard to do when you have a boot in. And there's the legs out. About 10 seconds left. You'd like to see a scramble here. His opponent's wrestling him tough. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Hard-fought match, though, by Michael Kopp. Hard-fought match. As we move over to mat 1, we have also wrestling for Lorain High.
At 126, that's Brandon Bartlemy. He's a freshman.
Brandon has a good stance. So he's timing his opponent. Score right now is 0-0. Still neither opponent able to take the other one down. Short time now. There's about 15 seconds left in the match. I mean, the period, in the first period. Don't want to give up any points here. And we'll go into the second period with no score so far. His opponent, the Kirtland wrestler, chooses down to start the period. And we'll see what Brandon has on top. Way to bring his opponent back down. Brandon also working with a boot in. He has a reverse hook. Both wrestlers fighting for it. And the ref called a stalemate. Neither wrestler showing any improvement. That wrestler did a good job of getting to his feet. Brandon's doing a nice job of hanging on to the leg. Returned him. There we go. Stretch him out. Get his back points.
Reach for that head.
Brandon has the right idea. Don't want to get your head caught though. Almost, almost. Good wrestling though by both wrestlers. Brandon's been wrestling very tough on top. About 30 seconds left in the second period. And to ride an opponent out is very crucial in a match because you're preventing them from getting that one escape point. And then they haven't scored first, which can come into play in overtime.
And also, there's a lot of close matches when you have good wrestlers and great competition with each other. That some matches are 1-0.
Very true, very true. So if Brandon's able to ride him out for another 20 seconds, it'll be an accomplishment and no stalling calls. In high school, that's something hard to do. I know in college, you're able to get riding time, and they're slower to call this. They're slower to call stalling in the top position, but in high school, they'll call it pretty quick. a reversal with about 5 seconds left.
On the edge of the mat, too.
Almost able to ride him out the whole period. Brandon finds himself down 2 points starting the third period. Chooses to go into the bottom position himself. That was a nice cradle by the Kirtland wrestler. Brandon able to fight it off. I believe he was, wrestler was rewarded. Yep, 2 back points, making the score 4-0 with about a minute and a half left in the third period. Brandon want to pop his head and get a reversal of his own. And there it is. Score is now 4-2. A little over a minute left.
Working the thread through.
He's trying to roll it through. Almost had it. Brandon going back to the move he almost had at the beginning of the match.
Stalling call on red.
Brandon's able to turn him in about 20 seconds. Another stalling call, 1 point rewarded to Brandon. Now he just needs a quick turn with about 5 seconds left. Is he gonna be able to turn the wrestler? Hopefully. And an almost hard fought match. Brandon Bartleman loses 4-3 in the last seconds of the match. Tough competition already in the first round of the tournament. The good thing about the Classic tournament, though, is this is the first day is pool play. So that means is they'll group about 3 or 4 weight wrestlers in the weight class. They'll wrestle each other, and then the top 2 wrestlers from that pool with the best record will be in the A bracket tomorrow and still have a chance to win the tournament. So even though they have a loss, he still has a chance to come back and win this tournament. Alrighty, looks like we have some break in the action for Lorain High, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back at the 2012 Nationwide Classic.
Hi, I'm Jenny Garth. As a mom, there's nothing more important to me than seeing my kids smile. That's why I've teamed up with the American Association of Orthodontists to shine a light on the importance of a healthy, beautiful smile. We all want to look our best, and an attractive smile is part of it. Getting your child an orthodontic checkup can make a huge difference in their future. Orthodontists straighten teeth and jaws. And if braces are needed, today's hip models let kids sport their own personal style during treatment. To learn more, visit braces.org.
Welcome back to the 2012 Nationwide Holiday Classic coming from Lorain High School. Coming up on mat 5, we have senior wrestler for Lorain High, Eli Garcia, at the 145-pound weight class. He's going to be wrestling Kruger from Westlake. Eli, one of the more experienced wrestlers on the team, former state qualifier, and he's already in on a good shot. Good defense by the Westlake wrestler, though. And Eli scores a takedown and 1 point to the Westlake wrestler for an escape. That makes the score 2-1 in favor of Eli Garcia. Eli, being a senior this year, has so far an undefeated record on the season. Wrestling very tough this year. Cisco, in your past week at practice, how's Eli been looking in the practice room?
He's been looking good. I mean, we went a couple live goes, and every shot turned into a scramble. He's got a nice double, but he's also very funky. He can roll around a lot.
Now, I'm sure Eli's somebody that you've wrestled quite often in your lifetime, being your cousin and everything.
Oh yeah, ever since we were little, he started wrestling at Southview's Youth with us.
Eli has a nice bar arm, looking for a stack here. He wants to sink his hips in. Back to the same move. Doing a nice job of lifting the head with his leg. Westlake wrestlers not going down without a fight, though. And those 3 back points brings the score to 7-1 in favor of Garcia of Lorain High. There's about 15 seconds left in this first period. And that brings us to the end of the first period. And to start the second period, Kruger of Westlake chooses to go wrestle from the neutral position. Unintentional poke in the eye there. No penalty points awarded. Kruger in on a single of his own. Forces the match out of bounds, so they will restart in the middle. Nice ankle pick by Eli Garcia. Way to capitalize.
Nothing yet.
And a good return, bringing the score 9-1. You know, these wrestlers have had a week off since their last time wrestling live. They just made their way today. How hard is it, do you feel, to get that first match out of the way?
It's really hard, especially, I mean, if you don't have butterflies for the first match of the tournament, then there's something wrong with you as a wrestler.
Definitely. You got 2 full days of wrestling. It's kind of important. You want to get into your zone to where, you know, you're comfortable with the matches, you know what you're doing, you know what strategy you're working for. Eli's winning by a score of 15-1, looking for one more turn to win by technical fall. Another important factor about these tournaments is that it is a team tournament. And us being the host school, you know, every year there's that extra emphasis on wanting to win our own tournament. So if Eli's able to win with a technical fall, to give extra team points, and I'm sure that'll make the Lorain High coaches very happy. And there it is. With a nice tilt, Eli's rewarded 3 back points, bringing the final score to 18-1, and that is enough for a technical fall. Nice win for Eli Garcia. Okay, and we'll take a break from the action, and we'll bring you back to 2012 Nationwide Holiday Classic.
With video games, I'm always choosing between what my kids want and what I think is best for them.
How about this one?
Which is why I love these new rating summaries. They let me know exactly what's in the game. Players shoot lasers from an arm cannon. Robot enemies explode and limbs fly off.
Maybe that other one's better.
Yeah. Get your free game rating summary today, and with it, the world's most powerful weapon, knowledge.
Welcome back to the 2012 Nationwide Classic at Lorain High School. My name is Julian Ralston, and co-host with me is Narcisco and Cherokee, bringing you live action for the first day of the two-day tournament. Before we get to the match, we would like to inform everybody that there's an urgent 10th grade meeting being held on January 15th, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. in the Lorain High School cafeteria. It's for all 10th grade students and parents, and it's highly encouraged that they attend. There's going to be important Ohio graduation testing information. Students must pass all 5 of these OGT tests to graduate high school and receive their high school diploma. Therefore, this is a very important meeting and will benefit your child's future and high school graduation goals. There will be food and refreshments served, and again, it is an urgent 10th grade meeting for all parents and students. January 15th, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. in the Lorain High cafeteria.
Now wrestling on mat 5 is Blake Binyard from Lorain. He is a senior, and he is wrestling McKenzie from Beaver Local. Right now the score is 2-0. Blake with the advantage.
So there's about a minute left in this first period. Blake, also a senior this year, who's putting together a strong season. Nice job of breaking his opponent down, getting him flat on the mat. He has a nice tight bar arm, looking for a tilt, backside tilt.
That's really what you hit back in the day.
I like my tilts. You know, Blake's also, he has long limbs. He's able to wrap people up, tie things off. You know, I was a lot smaller weight class, but I also had the longer limbs. So tilts were able to work to our advantage. See, caution. Blake was lined up wrong. So therefore, the ref warned him a caution. He gets 3 of those before the other opponent starts to receive points. As we approach the end of this first period, the score is 2-0 in favor of Lorain High's Blake Binyard. Blake doing a good job of routing his opponent, not allowing him to escape. Blake got called for locking hands. Whenever you're wrestling on the mat in the top position, as Blake was doing, you're not allowed to lock your hands unless it's in a pinning combination. Blake's hands touched, therefore the Beaver Local wrestler was awarded 1 penalty point. To start the second period, the score is 2-1 in favor of Lorain's Blake Binyard, and he chooses the down position. Nice stand-up, got to his feet rather quickly, peeled hands. Working for it. The Beaver Local wrestler did a nice job of dropping to the leg, not stopping wrestling. He wasn't a disadvantage, but instead he put a couple moves together and was able to maintain control of Blake. Another caution to Blake Binyard. That's his second one. The next one will be another penalty point for the Beaver local wrestler. Cisco, have you been able to wrestle any with Blake over the past week?
Not the best times wrestling with him, especially how long he is.
So things are looking good. He's looking good in the practice room.
Yep.
That's good. And you are currently on a winter break from Notre Dame of Ohio. You're wrestling there. How's that been going for you?
It's been going good. The practices are a lot harder than high school. I mean, every match in college is a lot harder. I mean, everybody's good basically in college.
So a whole new competition, a whole new level of competition in wrestling, and almost a new world, something you had to adjust to, huh?
Yeah, I still feel like a rookie, even though it's my second year in.
That's good. I hope the season goes your way.
Thank you.
Blake on a nice low single is able to snatch the ankle up and score a takedown. It brings the score to 7-2 with about 30 seconds left in the second period. Blake working for a thread through. And Beaver local wrestler able to escape. Bringing the score to 7-3. And that does it for the second period. As we go into the third period, the Beaver local wrestler finds himself down 4 points to Lorain High's Blake Binyard. And he chooses the bottom position. Right back to that barn with a hook. And the Beaver local wrestler able to escape, adding another point to his score, making the score 7-4. About a minute left in the third period. Blake working to hold on to a 3-point advantage over the Beaver local wrestler. Took a nice shot there, unable to capitalize. Blake in on a double. Needs to work his way up slowly so he's able to control the hips. Not want to go out of bounds here. But ran into some tough defense by the Beaver local wrestler, and that'll do it for the match. A nice hard fought match wrestled by both wrestlers. Lorain High's Blake Binyard able to hold on to a 3-point victory. As they just announce the team scores. Leading the way is St. Paul of Norwalk. Very early in the tournament, though. The Titans have a lot of opportunities to work their way back to the leaderboard. And that'll do it for the 152-pound weight class. We'll take a break from the live action, and we'll bring it back to you in just a moment.
Louis definitely has it on lock, as you see him right here throwing it on his first hit, no problem. Typical Blyler fashion. Whoa!
I'm Gretchen Blyler, Olympic silver medalist.
And I'm Louis Vito, U.S. Snowboarding Grand Prix champion.
It's taken a lot of work to get where we are in snowboarding.
You know, I love being active all year round, whether it's snowboarding, dancing, or just hanging out with your friends outdoors.
Say yes to a healthy lifestyle and no to underage drinking.
To become an all-star, go to asklistenlearn.com.
Welcome back to the 2012 Nationwide Holiday Classic. On mat 3 at 170 pounds, we have Luther Washington from Lorain, and he'll be going up against Midview's Hollingsworth. Luther is currently a junior at Lorain High.
Match gets underway. Both wrestlers appear to be pretty comfortable on their feet, feeling each other out. Luther in on a quick single. Very nice shot. Luther wants to wrestle on his feet, bring the score to 2-1. Looks like he's going to work his offense some more, try and rack up a couple points.
It's always a good thing just to add up points.
You know, different wrestlers come with different styles. He appears with that nice shot, you know, he seems to be very comfortable on his feet. Seems that that's to be where his strength is, so might as well work to where his advantage is. Appears to be working a thread through. As the wrestlers go out of bounds, the score is 4-2 now. Luther electing to wrestle on his feet again. About less than a minute left to go in this first period. Luther does a nice job of crawling on that shot, not giving up on it. It's a score takedown and another escape. Maybe wrestler doing a nice job of tying off Luther, so he slows his offense down, blocking and way to adjust from the beginning of the match. About 10 seconds left to go in this first period. Luther on another single and a nice spin around to get 2. So at the end of the first period, the score is 8-3 in favor of Lorain High's Luther Washington. Luther's choice to start the second period, he chooses down. And it has a nice escape. He was able to get to his feet, peel hands. It's pretty much textbook. And right back in on another takedown. Luther does a nice job of using the reshot strategy. Took one shot, it was black, it was shot in again. Catches the wrestler off guard sometimes, and it worked out for him there. Definitely say Luther's strength is on his feet.
Yes, definitely.
And with a minute left in the second period, the score is 15-5. Luther appears to be working for a technical fall to score some extra team points, hopefully get Lorain High towards the top of the leaderboard in the team races. Is that arm tied off very nicely. Looking for a tilt off of it. And he kicks him with about 20 seconds left. He wants to get after his offense and score a takedown before the period's over. With a nice high crotch, switch to a double. And finish. Seen some real impressive offense by Luther Washington in this first round of the tournament. And to start the third period, the score is 17-6. Interesting, something you don't see every day. The mid-view wrestler actually chooses to wrestle from the top position. That's not, you know, usually we say when wrestlers choose the top, they got a trick up their sleeves.
Yeah, he might have that one move just to try to catch somebody.
And there goes the legs thrown in. Looks like appears to be a boot rider. That's potentially dangerous situation, so the referee starts the wrestler. You know, whenever a wrestler is capable of throwing in the boots and feels comfortable with it and strong with it, that's a huge advantage to the wrestler. And it also kind of sends a warning to his opponent. So right now, Luther's like, okay, got to watch these legs, make sure they don't come in on me, because once they're in, they're hard to come out.
Yes, definitely.
Luther did a nice job of facing up with his opponent and able to score his escape. Bringing the score 18-6. Nice series of high crotches to switch to a double. As we move over to mat 1, we have another Lorain High Titan wrestling.
Yeah, that is Devin Resinger at 182 pounds.
The score in this match is 2-0 in favor of Resinger with about a minute left in the first period.
Or my mistake, that's 195 pounds.
Resinger doing a nice job riding out his opponent. Has a barn, but potentially dangerous. Ref doesn't want anybody to get hurt. We're all about safety in this sport. So we'll restart the wrestlers in the center of the mat. And another potentially dangerous situation. When a ref finds a potentially dangerous situation, no need to award any team points. And as we move back over to mat number 3, Luther Washington just received the victory, had his hand raised. Won by a technical fall, so he's gonna boost the team points. So congratulations to Luther Washington. And hopefully Devin Resinger is able to follow in his footsteps. While we were away from the match, his opponent was able to score an escape, which brings the score to 2-1 now. And there's about 20 seconds left in the first period.
I don't think I did, Kels.
Getting into the upper weights, we're gonna see a lot stronger wrestlers. Some kind of style change. We're not gonna see so many shots, so many quick moves. More of the fighting for position, hooks, underhooks. And start second period, Resinger chooses down. And is able to score a quick escape, bringing the score to 3-1. Both wrestlers doing a nice job of turning the corner, trying to fight for position. Something you like to see from these wrestlers, they're working the center of the mat. You know, they're not looking to try moves on the out of bounds or near the out of bounds line. You know, they're working in the center. They want to keep wrestling going. Resinger with a nice double for the takedown. Add another 2 points to the score to bring the score to 5-1. Looks like the ref wants the bottom man to work. A little more. Wrap the arm up. Ref felt the bottom man wasn't doing enough to advance his position, what they call stalling, his second stalling call. Therefore, Resinger was awarded 1 point. And in the last seconds of the second period, his opponent was able to escape, bringing the score to 6-2 to start the third period. You know, those last second points is something that you, as a wrestler, you really want to avoid. You want to try and hang out because every point counts. And to give one up with a couple seconds left is not something you want to do on the regular.
And you can tell his coaches are not happy about it.
In wrestling, though, they're always yelling, so coaches never seem happy. Resinger doing a nice job of flattening out his opponent, working for a turn of some sort. Minute left in this match. Score is still 6-2 in favor of Lorain High's Resinger. Good scramble. Resinger able to maintain control. And both wrestlers go out of bounds. Caution was awarded against Resinger. Lined up a little wrong. But back to the action. With about 30 seconds left in the match, Resinger trying to hold on to a 4-point lead to secure a victory in the first round of the tournament. Has a leg in, working to stretch his opponent out. Something he would like to do is take that left hand of his and reach it as far as he can away from his opponent to stretch him out. It's a move I remember you hitting quite often in high school. Not on me, though, of course.
Oh, of course not.
And that's it for the match. Lorain High's Dave Resinger able to hold on to a 4-point victory to secure his win. So to all our viewers out there, are you employed by or retired from the Lorain City Schools? If the answer is yes, then you want to pay close attention to the following. Hey, wrestling fans, low interest rates got you pinned to the mat. Reserve that hold and counter the competition with a CD from the Lorain School Employees Credit Union. Escape with a higher appy and pin down the CD of your choice. Call LSECU at 282-4600. We will make you a winner. And we have a break in the action right now. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break. And in a couple minutes, we'll be back live from the 2012 Nationwide Holiday Classic at Lorain High School.
Plant inspiration. Provide youth with the creative tools and skills to cultivate it. And you'll be amazed at what can grow. Adobe Youth Voices and the Peapod Foundation. Learn more at plantandinspire.org.
Welcome back to the 2012 Nationwide Holiday Classic. It looks like on mat 3, we're going to have Charles Cook from Lorain going against Busser from West.
Looks like there's some technical difficulties coming up on mat number 3. But they will be wrestling very soon. Well, while we wait for them, are you employed by or retired from Lorain City Schools? And if the answer is yes, then you want to pay close attention to the following. Don't get your ears pinned to the mat with low interest rates. Reverse that hold and open a CD at the Lorain School Employees Credit Union. Beat the competition, choose a CD rate so you win every time. Call or visit LSECU at 282-4600 or stop by the office at 4459 Oberlin Avenue, Suite 101. Definitely something you want to check out if you're a former employee of Lorain City Schools. And here we go, Charles Cook approaches the mat. Looks like the problem we're waiting on is a Lorain High coach to come to the match. So many matches going on, so many wrestlers all over the place. Lorain High look in need of a coach. And here comes assistant coach and former wrestler for Admiral King High School, James Worthy. Now that we're all set to go, we're ready to wrestle. Cook has a nice tie-up, controlling the head. I don't want to get caught up there. Nice throw by. Got a one-point escape. Back to our feet. After the quick flurry, to start the match, looks like things will slow down a little bit. Wrestlers starting to feel each other out a little more. Control the tie-up. Cook with a nice single. Now try and cut the corner, hang on to that leg. And a nice crossface by his opponent from Westlake. I'm running a power half. Cook in a not so good position right now, but he's scrambling out of it. Has to keep moving. Unable to. Cook from Lorain after a hard-fought match loses to open tournament, but it doesn't mean he's out. You know, the good thing about the pool play tournament is you can lose your first match, wrestle back, still has a chance to win the tournament if he's able to qualify for the A bracket tomorrow. And that does it for the first round of the Nationwide Holiday Classic for your Lorain High Titans. We've seen some good matches, a lot of victories, a couple of losses. And when we come back from our short break, there's going to be a special presentation at the tournament. So everybody want to stay tuned, and we'll be back.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Lefebvre, and this is Johnny. We're working with Best Friends Animal Society to stop the suffering of millions of breeding dogs in puppy mills who supply puppies to pet stores. You can help too, by not adding to the demand for pet store puppies. When searching for your next best friend, do what I did. Adopt. Don't shop. Let a shelter dog like Johnny steal your heart.
Hello everybody, my name is Jim Kudrin. I'm the head wrestling coach here at Lorain High School. I'd like to introduce a couple of people. First of all, Sonny Martinez, our assistant head coach here at the high school. I'd like to give Sonny a big hand because he's a very big organizer here at the tournament. Also, this is Marianne Falk. Marianne Falk is going to present us with a check. And they are our major supporter of Lorain High School Wrestling and all the youth in the city of Lorain. So Marianne and Sonny, thank you very much. If everybody could give both parties a round of applause, we'd appreciate it. Show your appreciation. And you can visit Marianne in her booth right outside the door here. Okay, thank you very much for your attention.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. Protected the weak and defeated the strong. Shown courage and compassion. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
Hello everybody, my name is Jim Kudrin. I'm the head wrestling coach here at Lorain High School. And I wanted to introduce Marianne Falk from Nationwide Insurance. And they are the proud supporter of Lorain High School Wrestling and all the fine students in our school district. And I wanted to introduce you to Marianne and also give her a chance to talk a little bit about why Nationwide has decided to be a supporter for the children in the city of Lorain.
Hi, it's such an honor to support the Lorain High School wrestling team. Nationwide loves to do community work and support communities, and it's with pleasure that that we support the Lorain High School wrestling team. Our office is on Broadway in Lorain, so it feels really great to support our neighbors. Basically, by supporting the Lorain High School wrestling team, we are helping out our neighbors in our neighborhood. So it's with pleasure that we are able to do this. We could be reached in the office at 520 Broadway or by phone, 440-714-4356. Anything that you do for us helps us to be able to continue this partnership that we love to do so much.
Okay, I wanted to thank you again, Joe, for the opportunity to let us both share what's going on in the encouragement of young students here in Lorain, Ohio in the school system. Thanks again.
Jenny dear! Don't forget my dress for the fashion show. We want to look my best now.
Jenny, we started our book report. Here's the cover.
Yeah, now all we need is a beginning,
a middle,
and an end.
Jenny dear!
Hi, honey.
Are you feeling blue? What's wrong with being blue?
Well, where should I start?
If you're a teen dealing with stress, there's help. Visit the Will Rogers Institute website for a free booklet about teen stress and how you can de-stress your life.
Right.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down, and I won't back down.
Welcome back to the 2012 Nationwide Holiday Classic. I am Ewan Ralston, and with me now is former Southview wrestler Robert Taylor, and former state champ, I might add.
Right on.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. You? How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. To start off the second round, we're going to be looking at Caleb Kopp of Lorain High, wrestling 105. He's in a tough situation right now. Hopefully he's able to scramble out of it and keep the match going, and he did so.
Yeah, that bar arm's kind of starting to look like a chicken wing.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of running it a little high.
It was very tight.
Very tight, and it started to slide up just a little bit, and he's got to watch. See where his wrist is? As soon as he turns the angle from 45 degrees, that turns into an illegal chicken wing. But he's in a tough situation right here.
Yeah, he's fighting hard, though. He's able to keep scrambling.
Yeah, he did a good job coming out of that, Ewan.
Caleb's a freshman right now, wrestling at the 105-pound weight class, and in actuality, last year I believe he wrestled 86 in middle school, so he still hasn't quite reached his full potential and is quite wrestling at the same size as the normal 105-pounders in high school. So we see in a couple years Caleb's growing into the weight class, and he'll be able to be even better. And as we flip over to mat number 3, we have freshman at 105 pounds from Lorain High, Devin Edwards. Won his first match very decisively, and right now he is leading in this match 2-0.
He got the early takedown, and now he's got a wrist tie. And it looks like he might be looking for a breakdown. Oh, he's going to let him go. So that just means basically what, Ewan? He wants to take him down again?
Oh, yeah.
He's got that faith?
There, look at that. Quick move, throw the boots in.
And a pin. Wow.
He's very strong on his feet, so it worked out to his advantage to kick him, score some more points, and actually was able to end the match with a pin, which is going to contribute to the team scores. Lorain High working to get towards the top of the leaderboard in their tournament this year.
Lorain High's got a real young team this year, eh?
Very young, very young. Only a couple seniors. And back to the action on mat number 2. Caleb's still in this match. Right now, he is losing by a score of 9-0.
He's in a tough position. The guy's been riding him pretty good. It's really, really tough on top. But if he can just get out of that bar arm situation.
And right back to that bar arm.
That's the big thing. Not just laying there and allowing those things to happen.
And now we go to the action on mat number 4. And we have wrestling on mat number 4 from Lorain High. Can't exactly see his face. That is, I believe, Cruz at 113 pounds. Yes, that is.
He just locked up the cradle and he flipped him over.
Cruz at 113
and
pounds.
There's the pin.
Nice win. Cruz is a junior with a very strong record this year as well. He's wrestling tough. First year on varsity, and he's working out for him.
Another pin for Lorain High.
Yep, 2 pins. Definitely going to help with the team score.
Oh, yeah. Pins do the trick.
Definitely.
Wins help in the end, the 2-1s and things like that. But those pins, when you can get them early and you can get them fast, that builds up your team score and it puts you at the top of the pile.
And coming up next on mat 2 at 113 pounds for Lorain High, we have Michael Kopp. He is wrestling Henderson from Beaver Local. Local with a nice throw by. Unable to finish though. Good scramble and not giving up any easy points by Michael Kopp.
There's an illegal start. Caution.
First caution award against Beaver Local. 2 more and Michael Kopp will be able to receive some penalty points.
It's called a keeler that the Beaver Local wrestler was looking for. When you put your head in the side and you try to get around as quick as possible by keeping that front headlock.
Yep, working out for him. Looks like he's trying to lock his hands up and possibly cradle Kopp, but unable to do so, but still able to score a takedown.
He threatened him with a cradle?
2-0.
Threatened him with a cradle, then
Yep.
let it go and just shot around him real quick. Seen you do that a couple times, Julian.
Yep. Again, those long limbs work to our advantage for a couple moves here
Oh,
and
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah. Now, Michael's got to get his knees underneath him. He's got to move. He's stuck in a bad situation. This bar arm is on the way if he doesn't do anything. See that arm?
Yep, definitely want to straighten his arm up, get to his base, wing down.
He's throwing a half from the other side. He's got to look away, peel that off.
Michael's one of those real flexible, real funky wrestlers. He's able to do things normally that people can't do.
That looks a little bit different there. Maybe he might be able to roll out of that. That's trouble, though. That's a double bar arm, and when that guy sits through like that, that's a lot of pressure. Michael's fighting right there.
About 20 seconds left in the first period.
He can hold out. Yeah, that's trouble.
Yeah, got caught in it. You know, that's the interesting thing about wrestling. One move, getting caught in, could lose you the match.
Oh, yeah, and that also tells you don't lay on the bottom for too long. If you stay down there, maybe it might be 1 or 2 seconds. You know, let's go 5 seconds. But if you lay there for 5 seconds, you know, then, you know, that thing is coming. And with, you know, with a lot of these wrestlers nowadays, it looks like at this tournament that bar arm is something that a lot of people are trying to use this year.
Oh, yeah. But Michael Kopp did fight hard for quite a while in the match, and we look forward to him continuing to wrestle about this tournament. Again, this is the first day of action, so this is just pool play. You know, there is going to be tournament action tomorrow, and he still has a chance to wrestle back and help his team win the tournament, which I'm sure he will do so.
Now he can actually drop down into a different pool now, and he still has an opportunity to win that pool, correct?
Correct. There's going to be a pool A and a pool B tomorrow. The top 2 seeds from each pool today will go into the pool A tournament, and the other remaining wrestlers will go into the pool B tournament.
So he's got a lot of fight left.
Okay, looks like there's a break in the action for the Titan wrestlers. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a few.
Sergeant Jason Nielsen served his country as an MP in Iraq.
I was in Iraq for 10 months before I was hit by a sniper.
He suffered a paralyzing injury, ending his military service. Paralyzed Veterans of America's National Service Officers are trained to help injured veterans get all the benefits they've earned.
She worked with my wife, took care of everything for me just so I could focus on just recovery and trying to get on with life.
To learn more, visit pva.org.
Welcome back to the 2012 Lorain High Holiday Classic, sponsored by Nationwide. On mat number 5, we have wrestling for Lorain High at 126 pounds, Brandon Bartlemy, and he is wrestling a wrestler from Bay Area.
Right now he's working the boots in there. That's leg riding. So he's riding off to the left side. Looks like he's looking for a guillotine or what would you say he's doing over there, Eula?
With Brandon, when he worked in the earlier match, he had one leg in and he reached for the opponent's arm and he wanted to kind of thread it behind his head and then lean back and rest. That move, very wary of the opponent, wears him down, and very effective, scores points. I'm unable to succeed with getting it there, but I know that's a move of choice for Brandon, and it's worked out for him in the past.
That's one thing about most wrestlers. We usually have a signature move that we use.
Oh, definitely.
And that's pretty good because that means that's one of your focal points as far as if you're good on top, you might use a bar arm tilt, like most of these guys have been doing. If you're good on your feet, you might use a double leg. If you're good out of the bottom, you might use a great stand-up or a switch. And there's a switch right there. And it's a pretty deep one. Awesome job. Stayed in bounds, got his 2-point reversal.
Prior to that switch, Brandon was reversed himself. But with that reversal, it brings the score to 4-2 in favor of Brandon as we near the end of the first period, about 30 seconds left. There's that bar arm that you were mentioning earlier that we've seen a lot this tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon it's a little loose. We'd like to tighten it up, but he's doing a good job of keeping pressure on the head, working the shoulder down, and was able to get the fall.
A lot of guys are working the bar arm this year.
Yeah. He had nice mat awareness as well. He was able to keep him in bounds, especially the shoulders. The wrestler, his body may have been in bounds, but you can't get a pin if his shoulders are out of bounds. So he did a good job of keeping the shoulders in bounds. That's about the third pin this period, this round for Lorain High. So we should see a nice boost in the team scores.
Oh yeah, for sure. Those pins do it, like we said earlier.
Right behind Brandon and coming up on the same mat for Lorain High at the 132-pound weight class, we have Wagner from Lorain, and he is going to be wrestling Hollingsworth from Clearview.
Now you see the red anklet, that denotes basically who gets what score.
Just like with boxing in a boxing match, you have different colored corners. Same thing for wrestling.
Exactly.
Wagner in on a
shot a little double there.
Yep. Unable to finish.
He's got to fight right there on the line. He's got to be have mat awareness and know that the coaches usually tell you, look where you're at, and you get out of bounds.
The Clearview wrestler did a nice job of completing what appeared to be a barrel roll or tote of some sort. Wagner was put to his back, so Clearview was awarded some back points, but was able to get a quick escape, bringing the score to 4-1 now in favor of the Clearview wrestler. Wrestlers have quite a bit of energy. They seem to be comfortable on their feet.
There's a single leg.
Nice shot. And the Clearview wrestler did a good job of setting that single up.
Be careful. There's a Peterson.
No points awarded yet. Wagner's done a nice job of scrambling in his defense.
Looks like he's going to try to stick a power half in there.
You see the knees bent. Ref called a potentially dangerous situation. Don't want anybody to get hurt out there.
Both wrestlers will go back up to their feet, and the ref will start them. You're right, Ewan. There's a lot of action going on with these guys on their feet. A lot of movement. That's what coaches like to see. I mean, we love to see these guys moving, using their hands, snapping, pushing, pulling, and definitely doing a little feinting, a little bit more feinting to trick the guy into thinking you're coming when you're not coming, and to throw him off. And you know, Wagner will be doing pretty good.
As I always said, you know, wrestling is mostly about reaction. So everything, how your opponent reacts to what you do, is going to dictate what you decide to do next.
That's correct.
So he bangs on the head, his head comes up, there's your shot. He keeps his head down, there's your front headlock. So these wrestlers are doing a nice job of counters, setting moves up, not just going after stuff. Wrestling very smart.
Oh yeah, and using the out of bounds line really well.
And that will bring us to the end of the first period.
Scores 4-1.
Clearview wrestler defers to Wagner of Lorain, and he chooses to wrestle neutral on his feet.
Now defer basically means what, Yulin?
Basically, you know, they flip the coin in the middle of the periods to see whose choice it is. Whatever color it does land on, then is that wrestler's choice, but maybe he wants to save his choice for the third period. So then you defer to the other opponent, telling him he has to make the choice, and then you go ahead and that wrestler would make the decision in the third period.
There you go.
And there's a lot of action going on right now, a lot of scrambles, a lot of reversals.
Oh yeah, there's a lock in hands though.
We're gonna have to see what they, looks like the ref is moving a lot faster than the scoreboard.
I hate when that happens.
And it's hard, our table work is working very hard over there, doing all they can, but as in that situation, there's a lot of points being scored very fast, so I believe once they get a break in the action, they're gonna have to go and sort this final score out.
I believe we've seen probably 5 moves in that little scramble there.
Chain wrestling.
Chain wrestling, and those guys were going back and forth, back and forth. I've seen a cradle. You know, there's a little barrel roll right there. Wagner's got to get his hips out, but he likes to reach for that leg, and he likes to do a little funky roll, and somehow it's working for him. He just needs to get back to his feet and get back to, you know, making the motion happen, moving the guy around, and like you said, Yulin, every action, reaction, action, reaction. So when a guy reacts, boom, your action is to go and do whatever you need to do. And more than likely, you end up being the one that's controlling the match if you're doing the action.
Exactly.
The guy that's doing the reacting, he's basically defending himself.
I believe this brings the score to 9-4 in favor of Hollingsworth from Clearview. There's about 18 seconds left in the second period.
There's a stalling call because he was backing up.
Definitely want to circle and control the match and stay in the middle as much as you can.
Exactly.
Nice reshot.
There's a reshot. There's some defense.
Short time, don't want to give up any points here, so hopefully a scramble. Wagner's able to scramble out and defend the takedown.
And he held on to the ankle. He was in really good position with the ankle, and he's in good position now, believe it or not.
Yep.
Right, as long as he stays over that leg, he's fine.
And that will bring us to the end of the period. Wagner did do a good job of defending that takedown. Not giving up any extra last-second points. The score is 9-4. It's the start of the third period.
Wagner needs to step out to the side, break the guy down right there, chop the elbow. Never pull a wrestler on top of you. Never pull him back on you, because if he falls on you, you're sitting flat on your butt and you're in trouble. But we all make little mistakes. It's how you fix and correct those mistakes that basically help you to persevere in this sport.
Yep. And some good technique we're seeing from the Clearview wrestler. He was able to get his escape and then go right back in there for a nice double leg to score. And those couple extra points brings the score to 12-4.
Got a minute and about 17, 16 seconds left. 12-4, that's 8 points deficit. But, you know, in this sport, you can make those 8 points up really quick. One 5-point move and you're down 3. Another 5-point move and you're up.
And also one move could earn you the pin and the fall in the match itself.
Sure could. We've seen a lot of pins happen coming from the Titans, so nothing would surprise me right about now. He just needs to suck it up a little bit, get this escape, one thing at a time, get the escape, and then go after him. No hand control, though. We got to get that suck back right there. That's trouble. There's points being scored right there, and a pin.
The fall. So a lot of action in that match. Very hard fought by both wrestlers. Hollingsworth of Clearview comes out on top with a fall in the third period. Looks like we have a little break in the action. In the meantime, why don't we hear a couple words from our new sponsor, Robert Taylor himself.
Hey. The product that I'm sponsoring, or actually I own my own business in, is a company called ViSalus, Yulin. And I'm basically trying to get people to be more aware of their health and their fitness. It deals with weight loss, weight gain, nutrition, hydration.
You're in the right sport.
Exactly, and that's one reason why I decided that this would be an optimal place to be with this business and with this product, is because as wrestlers, that's all we do is lose weight. In order to get on these mats, in order to participate in this sport, you have to step on the quote-unquote scale. So stepping on the scale basically means that you have to weigh in. You have to make the weight that you're wrestling, and usually most of the people have to lose weight to do so. So with ViSalus, it's an all-natural 90-calorie product that comes in kits, and it allows people to go and lose weight, gain weight, get fit, and most of all, get perfect nutrition, which a lot of us don't do. We go out here, we're dehydrated because we've lost water weight. We don't have the proper nutrition because we've been eating ice cubes and grapes and really, bad food when we're actually at some events. Food is not good for us, I'll rather say. But,
So what is it exactly about this product that makes it so healthy for you? What chemical balance is it?
Well, good. I mean, there's a protein in this called Trisor protein that is patented by ViSalus. ViSalus is the company. I am a promoter in this company. And what the Trisor protein basically does is it chelates into the muscle and into the bone. It gives you perfect nutrition, and it allows you to lose weight at 90 calories. You'd have to actually eat 8,800 calories of food to get the nutrition that you're getting from one ViSalus shake. And
that's impressive.
It's very impressive. Just to name the list of foods that would have to sit on that table, nobody could actually sit down and eat that much food in a setting, and we can do it in one shake as a wrestler. No more skipping breakfast, no more skipping lunch. Here you go, boom, boom, little metabolism pill, which is also all natural, and then we go into the hydration with the prolonged energy drink, which is you use water with. It's a powder, and we've got vitamins and stuff like that, minerals, proteins, fibers. They're all in that 90-calorie shake, in that meal replacement, and it's actually got the ability to change the face of wrestling as we see it these days, by putting a perfect nutrition wrestler out there on the mat instead of, someone who's really struggling and tired. So
that sounds, that's definitely sounds like it can change the face of wrestling, and I'm sure that a lot of people would like to learn more about it. If they want to hear this interview or they want to learn more about it, how can they find a way to try to Vitalis himself? Right,
but now with Vitalis, what you can actually do is you can either contact me through my website, which is www.robbeast.bodybyvi.com, which is basically a long website. Maybe Joe can fix something up for me where we can, let the people see that. But www.robeast.bodybyvi.com, or you can just get in touch with me on my cell phone, which I don't really want to give that out on. You know what I mean? But yeah, contact me either through that method or find me on Facebook. You can catch me on Facebook. There's a million Robert Taylors out here. But the easy way to find me is by typing in VITRY 90, the number 9 and 0, and DAY.com and Facebook, and it'll pull up my website and Facebook. And
sounds good. And I'm sure most of our viewers at home have the DVR, so they're able to rewind and catch all that information.
I hope so. I hope so, because that was a lot.
Yeah, if not, just keep a heads up, and we'll definitely find a way to get the information to you. Vitalis product, something that will change the face of wrestling, probably.
It's amazing, and I can't wait to see it. I mean, not only the face of wrestling, but there are people out here that kind of struggle with certain issues that it also works for. It's perfect.
It's true.
It's perfect for people who are maybe malnutritioned and underweight. It's perfect for people who might need to lose a few pounds and might want to get that energy back. So it's for everybody. I mean, there's a saying, it's not just for anybody, it's for everybody. So everybody's welcome to try this product. Look it up, YouTube it, Google it, do whatever you got to do, and then catch up with us. And you'll definitely notice when you start seeing people using it in our wrestling, in our wrestling venues, because you're going to see guys out here happy. Moms and dads are going to be in stands. They're not going to be crying and whining about my son had to lose weight and he gets so mean and evil when he had to lose weight.
Sounds like my mom.
Exactly. It sounds like my mom too. And all the other wrestling moms and dads. So let's change the face of wrestling and see what happens.
That definitely sounds very good. And we're still waiting for some Titan wrestlers to get onto the mat. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break, and everybody stay tuned. We'll be back live at the Nationwide Holiday Classic from Lorain High School.
Go Titans.
McGruff the crime dog here. We've all heard of identity theft. Now I'm going to show you how those thieves do it. Watch. He's secretly photographing her credit card with his cell phone. Now watch. They pretend they have a package to deliver, and while they're trying to fit it in the mailbox, they're taking her credit card payments and other paid bills. To learn how to protect yourself from identity theft, go to weprevent.org. Keep your identity to yourself and help take a bite out of crime.
Welcome back to the 2012 Nationwide Holiday Classic, live from Lorain High School.
Nice double leg.
At 145 pounds right now, we have wrestling Eli Garcia from Lorain High, and his opponent is Brown of Kirtland. As you've seen when we first came back, Eli had a nice double leg to score him 2 points, so right now he is leading the match 2-0 as we get it underway.
That was an old school blast double right there. I like to see those. I mean, where you just catch the guy totally off guard and then pow right into his chest with your head and boring right through him.
Yep.
Here's another bar arm.
Using it for a tilt this time.
Bar arm
backside tilt. Eli doing a nice job of keeping those legs elevated. He was able to score 2 back points off of it. Eli doing a nice job of keeping pressure on his opponent. More back points going to be awarded here.
He slapped in that old school claw. Remember the claw?
Oh, I remember that claw.
The claw. And then there's the boots. Once you stretch somebody out with those legs, I mean, you're either going to turn them or you're just going to ride them until they can't be, until they want to get out of bounds. Exactly. Yeah. So that's a method of actually either tiring a guy out or going for some quick points and trying to turn them. So.
And in your boots, you're in such a position of advantage that you almost get a little bit of a break. You're not having to exert so much energy to keep your opponent down.
Exactly.
So it really works to your advantage because it kills two birds with one stone. You wear your opponent down, you get you a little break, and you can score.
And there's a claw again. He's utilizing that claw left and right. That was a lift. He's using that claw, meaning he's taking that left hand and he's shooting it across the guy's chest, up into his neck area, shoulder area.
Eli's showing some very, very impressive mat wrestling from the top, being able to turn his opponent. And with those 3 back points, we have a 15-0 victory in the first period for Eli Garcia. Technical fall.
Very good. Good work.
And he will add a couple extra team points to the team score. Not something you see every day, a technical fall in the first period.
No. There were a lot of turns. Those turns, those 3-point moves, those back points for 3 points, that'll do it. All it takes is what? 1, 2, 3 of them, and you got 9 points.
Exactly.
A takedown, that's 2. 2 plus 9 is 11. A couple more turns, and you're done.
We have another Titan wrestling right now on mat number 5. And I believe this Titan's name is Hayes. And he is wrestling Grillo of Westlake.
Nice little defense. Plays the out of bounds line.
Score is 0-0 as we reach about almost the midway point of the first period.
Here's that reaction you talked about. Action, then reaction.
Hayes doing a nice job of defending.
Oh yeah, picked up 2 points.
Score. And a quick escape. Bringing the score to 2-1.
What do you think about the hand work that's going on, the hand fighting and things like that, Eula?
Yeah, well, both wrestlers are doing a nice job of trying to control the tie, put it to their advantage. We see as we get to the upper weight classes, we're going to see more and more of the tie-ups. Not so many wrestlers taking free shots.
There's one.
There it was. Spoke too soon.
Little sweep single. He showed us a little something, but he left his head out.
Yep.
So he didn't get the points for the move. A lot of times, everything that looks like it's going to be some points sometimes turns into no points because of one little technical mistake. And that head being left over there on that side was a mistake. But look how he came back, hit a nice solid double, head right in the chest.
He likes to reach around the back and work his way up, walk it towards the head, short time, and he's able to score and get his points before the period's over.
Picks up 2 points. A lot of times in wrestling, it's how you correct your mistakes and how fast you make that correction.
Everything is a continuation. Never stop wrestling. And same thing for the refs. The refs have a hard time deciding points because they don't know when the move necessarily has stopped. So the ref did a good job of waiting till he secured the takedown, got the 2 points, and now it brings the score to 4-1, and we bring it into the second period.
Careful with the suck back. When we say suck back, we just basically mean taking a double under and sucking the bottom wrestler back towards his back on the mat, trying to pick up some points for the top man. Sometimes when you go to do that move, if your knees are caught underneath you and you suck them back onto that knee, he basically gets put on top of you, and he locks you into position, and there's trouble.
We see Wagner got into a little trouble. He got too high. He left his head exposed. The Westlake wrestler was able to grab the head and capitalize with a pretty quick move, the reversal straight to his back. So now Wagner, you see, is fighting to get off of his back. That's it. That half is in there pretty tight.
Yeah, he's got
and
that
he has the other arm
in there.
Locked up. around. Westlake wrestler continues to circle towards the head. They can apply pressure to the shoulders. Try and keep that right shoulder above the mat. And I believe that's it. The Westlake wrestler is able to win by a fall. And after a hard-fought match, seeing some good things on the feet in the neutral position by both wrestlers, but Hayes unable to capture the victory.
In a lot of cases, that one move could have changed everything around. That single that he got in on, and he left the head out. Exactly. If he could have been able to finish that and then ride this guy out, it probably could have changed the tide of the match. So, young wrestlers out there, always remember, finish up your moves, be technically sound, and, just never give up. Always be willing to go hard.
Yep. And we reach another break in the action, and we're going to take a quick break. But stay tuned, and we'll be right back at the Nationwide Holiday Classic.
For the people in our armed forces, it's a time of sacrifice, a time of duty. That's why we've joined together to form the Armed Forces Relief Trust to help military families cope with financial and medical emergencies at home. The 4 military aid societies gave millions last year to cover unexpected medical expenses, child care, and more. But with so many overseas, the need is greater than ever. They're serving us. Let's serve them in return.
Welcome back to the 2012 Nationwide Holiday Classic, coming live from Lorain High School. I am Ewan Ralston, and with me today is Robert Taylor. And wrestling right now on mat number 5, we have Aaron Neal of Lorain at 182 pounds, and his opponent is Homie of Twinsburg.
Aaron hit a real nice double leg takedown, but he was just out of bounds. He was on the out of bounds line and didn't pull the wrestler back in. But he's hitting some real nice shots.
And a nice little single there.
There's a single, nice finish. Now he pulls him back in. There goes that whole learning from your mistake from before. Morphing, becoming better. Pulls him back in bounds.
He has a boot in, he's stretching him out.
And there's a turn.
We'd like to see him take that right arm and go as far as he can and reach out for it to further stretch his opponent out. But he was still successful with the move, able to get 3 back points.
Scores 5-0. Ref brings them back to the center after they go out of bounds. And Aaron's on top. A little caution on the bottom, man. Or was it the top, man?
It was on top, man. On the Titan.
Little early movement. It happens. There's a lot of whistles going off at this tournament. Sometimes the refs feel that it's the other mat official's whistle, and they'll let that go. But in this case, it was a false start.
You'll want to keep the pressure back, not get too high. Twinsburg were able to capitalize and score an escape. Brings the score to 5-1. As we approach the end of the first period, about 30 seconds left.
There's a double leg shot. Didn't get any penetration on that double leg, so, it was pretty easy to defend. Little movement, maybe pop the elbows up, maybe push and pull just a little more. A little bit more penetration on that shot. A little better technique.
Neal dragging him in, did a nice job. He got a little position, was able to capitalize on it.
He's got the arm there.
And score at the end of the period. And the fall.
Well, that was
way
quick
to take advantage of the opportunity by Aaron Neal and add a couple extra team points for the team. It's a good win, good action. So Aaron Neal wins by fall in the first period.
Nice little work there. Nice job by Aaron.
Again, we would like to grab the attention of all seniors and parents and let you know that on Thursday, January 24th at 6 p.m. at Lorain High School, there's going to be a financial aid night, and Dave Newman from College Now Greater Cleveland will be presenting, and the Lorain Community Foundation will also present scholarship information. Light refreshments will be provided. So if you have any questions, you want to contact your school counselor at 277-1176. That's 277-1176. There's going to be some good information for all seniors planning on attending college next year. and also for the parents who most likely are going to be paying for it. And while we wait for the next Titan to come to the mat, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back to you live in just a moment.
Sports are great for a kid's body. Steroids aren't. They can ruin tendons in legs and arms. Steroids can stunt bone growth and increase the chances of liver cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Steroids don't make great athletes. They destroy them. Talk to your kids. Need help? Get help. Visit drugfree.org.
Welcome back to the 2012 Nationwide Holiday Classic at Lorain High School. Wrestling on mat 1 for the Titans, we have junior Luther Washington at 170 pounds. His opponent is Steely from school. Their abbreviations are WK. And Luther's in on a takedown early in the first period and is able to score 2 points. As we've seen earlier in today, Luther's a wrestler who enjoys wrestling on his feet, strong in a neutral position, has some nice takedown technique, so he allowed the opponent to escape so he can work to his advantage and wrestle where he's most comfortable at.
Is that WK Worthington Kilbourne? We have Columbus teams at this tournament today?
Yes, I do believe it is Worthington Kilbourne. I do believe they come to the tournament. So
okay.
That WK stands for Worthington Kilbourne. Thank you very much.
Right on, right on. It was a lucky guess.
I was wondering.
There's another takedown by Luther Washington. Luther likes to be on his feet. Got really good defense. Notice how the other wrestler, the Kilbourne wrestler, couldn't touch his legs.
Nice adjustment to the single. Way to stand up with it. Want to watch his positioning. Doesn't want to go out of bounds with it.
There he goes, pulling him back in bounds.
And finish.
That's how you finish on a single leg, guys. And he's still in bounds, so the clock continues to run.
And with that takedown, it brings the score to 6-2. Luther doesn't want to give up any last-second points as we approach the end of the first period. About 9 seconds left.
This is short time, and basically means that there's less than 10 seconds left on the clock before the period runs out. You don't want to give up a point or give up a reversal. Luther did a good job fighting off of that.
Nice adjustment. And at the end of the first, score remains 6-2. Ref flips the toss, flips the coin. And Worthington Kilbourne chooses top. We always say when a wrestler chooses top, he has a secret for you. He has a secret weapon coming.
Oh yeah. That usually means he's good in that position because you don't really score points when you have your choice. You wanna do the thing that's gonna score some points. So he takes top. He knows how to score points from the top.
And there it is. He is a tall wrestler. Looks like he's going for the cradle.
Goes straight for a cradle. And he's got it locked up.
Luther did a nice job of popping his head out, breaking hands, reaching around.
Luther actually should be looking for a Peterson right now. Reach up and grab that right elbow and just roll through it. He's got a Peterson. That's a 5-point move if he hits it, but he gets a 2-point move in the reversal.
And again, goes back to the position where he's most comfortable at, which is on his feet, allowing the wrestler from Worthington Kilbourne to escape, making the score 8-2.
That's another good thing when you got that type of ability on your feet to be able to take a shot and score, get the move and actually score points like Luther did just right there. You're able to take your time. You know, you can think about the move a little bit better. Your defense is good. You know, your offense is good. You know, at the end of the day, you want that time to either run out or you want to get that pin or that technical fall. And yeah, it's great when you can take your time and breathe and relax and be comfortable in a wrestling match. There's more good defense. Got to watch how he goes to that side. I'm not a fan of going to the side. I think those legs go straight back, boom, and then they fire right back up into hips into the guy.
Luther had a nice three-quarter Nelson, three-quarter stack. Able to put the wrestler from Willis Comer to his back for a brief moment and receive back points. Brings the score to 14-4 with about 30 seconds left in the second period.
And he's coasting. Luther's got so much trust in his abilities on his feet. He actually gave the Kilbourne wrestler the option. He gave him a point and put him on his feet so they could go takedowns again. Being up by 9, high leg over situation. Luther scores 2 more points. With 9 seconds left, 8 seconds, 7 seconds. But he gives him 1 point.
About 7 seconds left in the second period.
And he scores.
Able to capitalize. Usually you don't see them kick them with that short period of time.
Yeah,
but
you don't usually see them give up
I don't know if that was the coach's decision or Luther's on his own, but he was able to capitalize on it.
Luther scored 2 points for a takedown, and he scored 2 points for back points in 7 seconds. So, like you said, you know, when the Kilbourne wrestler took top, that's where his bread and butter is. So you shut down a wrestler's bread and butter, and then you find out that he's weak on his feet. Then he's basically in trouble.
Yep.
And that's why I think Luther was able to increase the score to 18-6 and get that quick takedown and those 2 quick back points. Because he also realizes that this guy's in trouble when it comes down to being on his feet.
And there's 2 more. Brings the score to 20-6. 1 more takedown will give Luther a technical fall and increase the team points.
Now is not the time for Luther to get relaxed, though. If anything, he should be hitting on all 8 cylinders right about now and be going after this takedown.
Looks like the ref has a couple questions for the head table. Looks like some time ran off the clock, and he's gonna put some time back on it. There we go. Now there's 1 minute and 24 left in the third period. But as we mentioned earlier, 1 more takedown would give the Titan, Luther Washington, a technical decision victory. Nice single leg. In the air. Switch to a double. And secures his takedown. And there it is. Nice match wrestled by Luther Washington.
Yeah, he looked really good. He had a lot of flashes of brilliance on his feet. Now, when it comes down to that last takedown that we looked at with the takedown in the back points, that was kind of questionable. I don't know if I would have did that, but this guy, he knew this guy's abilities. Yeah, he knew what his abilities were, and he followed through with them. And definitely he's got his program together.
Up next on mat number 2, we have at 220 pounds, Cook of Lorain, and he is wrestling Jenkins of St. Paul. Wrestlers, as you get into the heavier weight classes, start to see more moves from the top position, from the tie-up, more underhooks, more overhooks.
A lot of hand fighting. Snap down, you see him lock up, pull on the head. Pulling on the head actually gets a wrestler really, really tired.
Oh, yeah.
If it's done enough times. There's a takedown. And an escape. Now the object of with these guys when they get up to be around this weight is to literally control the other wrestler while you're standing up on your feet. Once one of these guys goes down, it becomes a war of attrition as far as, can he get away? Can he hold me down? I've seen some big guys be able to, get up and out of there. But for the most part, when they hit the ground, They pretty much stay down there for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
So
a lot of techniques definitely change as you increase in the weight classes.
Oh yeah, but when you see them going at it on their feet, it's a work of art sometimes, especially the hand fighting, the underhooks, the overhooks. Man, would I love to see a throw.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Those are always exciting.
Oh yeah. If you're gonna lock it up, might as well throw it.
So as you approach the end of the first period, Cook leads with a score of 2-1.
Notice how Cook stayed right in the middle of them.
And as we
forehead to forehead, excuse me.
Oh yeah. And as we check out the action coming up on mat 4, we have the heavyweight weight class. From the Titans, we have Clayton Breeds, and he will be wrestling Shafi of Westlake. And there's almost a throw you were talking about. He went for it.
And a roll?
And then roll.
No,
big man roll.
Oh, yeah. Lock that head up. Keep that elbow.
A lot of action going on in this match. A little different than the one we were just viewing. As we see, things can change in wrestling. Whistle. And as we switch over to mat 2, Cook falls to the St. Paul wrestler by way of pin.
That was pretty quick. I think I seen him lose his balance a little bit, and then once he got put in that position on his back, he was pretty much done. But yeah, it was a pretty good match for the first couple minutes.
And the score on this match of the heavyweights between Breeds and Shafi of Westlake is now 6-4 in favor of Westlake. It seems the referee awarded a technical point to the Westlake wrestler, which makes the score 7-4.
There's that bar arm again.
Yep. Breeds in a tough position. Want to try and roll through. He's getting out.
Do it.
And there he is.
Now he needs to get his 2 points, get that leg back. Oh, nope, no score.
Would have one escape. After 3 back points, the score now is 10-5 with about 20 seconds remaining in what I believe is still the first period.
I'd like to see him clear those wrists a little better than what he's doing right now. He's kind of giving up the control when he puts his wrist out there. We got an old thing called breaking the wrist. You know, if you can break that, not break it literally, but if you can get it off of his hand off of your wrist, then you can regain the control.
So we have the start of the second period. Breeze is on top. Shafi able to face the wrestler, almost getting an escape, but I think Breeze has the cradle locked up. He does, trying to roll it. Got a little extended.
And he gives up a reversal and back points. That's one reason why technique and control, being able to control the way that you come out, is so important.
Breeze showing some strength there. He's able to push the wrestler right off of him, goes back and score his escape point.
Oh, there goes a knee tap.
Westlake wrestler did a nice job of circling towards the head to put more pressure on the shoulders. But Breeze is doing a nice job of fighting, showing his strength and his never give up.
In a tough position there. There goes the fall.
You know, that's the one thing about the heavier weight classes. Once you get caught on your back, it's harder to get off.
Oh, yeah. I think all the way up and down the line, technique is so important because you don't when you have the technique, you don't see all of the rolling. And when you take the rolling out and all that, he scored, I scored, he scored, I scored, he's on his back, I'm on my back. When you take that away, you're not as tired as you are, as you normally would be at this point in the match.
Yep. And that will do it for the Lorain High Titans in the second round of the Classic tournament. So we're going to go to a break, and we'll be back at the Nationwide Holiday Classic.
Freedom to think for yourself.
To disagree with the government.
Freedom to be equal.
To be different.
Freedom to raise a family.
To marry the man I love.
The freedom to worship the God of my choice.
To live with dignity.
The freedom to be me.
To be whatever I want to be.
Defending freedom for over 200 years.
Welcome back to the 2012 Nationwide Holiday Classic Tournament coming from Lorain High School Gymnasium. My name is Julian Ralston, and with me is Robert Taylor. Today we are concluding the action for the day. The Titans had a very nice performance, had quite a few wins by way of pin, technical falls to help our team points. There was a couple losses, but you know what? The good thing about this tournament is that it is pool play, and these wrestlers all have a chance to come back tomorrow and wrestle back and help the team earn a victory.
Hey, you know what? There was a lot of great matches, a lot of great pins, definitely some takedowns and things like that that we don't normally see this early in the season. These guys are finishing their moves, they're going hard, they're out there, and the proof is in the pudding as to what they're doing in the wrestling room and with their training and stuff like that. You know, we just want to keep, keeping some focus in on some of the things that they're doing as far as balance and having structure to what they're doing out on the mat. But other than that, you guys are doing a heck of a job. Yulin, wonderful job out here, with the commentary. This guy's got his stuff together. And, it's a pleasure being here. Thank you, everybody, and Joe for, allowing me to be a sponsor and with my product, Visalis, and my company. Once again, my website is www.robbeast.bodybyvi.com, but you can catch me on Facebook at tryvi90day at facebook.com. And it's a pretty easy way to catch up with me. I also do a little bit of training and technical things as far as being over at the Evergreen Medical Building. So, anybody looking to do a little bit of training, get with the Southview coaches or the Lorain High Titan coaches, and maybe even Yulin. Maybe Yulin will come and help me out. And, I'd love to get some technical stuff going and show some good wrestling.
Oh, yeah. And again, we thank you for joining us and providing everything that you have for the community. And we invite all our viewers back tomorrow. If they're able to make it out to Lorain High Gymnasium, tomorrow will be December 29th. And there's going to be some finals action for this tournament starting around 5 p.m. If not, we will be bringing you coverage for it. And so stay tuned to Channel 20. Again, we're coming to you from Nationwide Classic at Lorain High Gymnasium. I'm Yulin Ralston.
I'm Robert Taylor.
And we will see you later.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.
To purchase a high-quality copy of the program you just viewed, please call Lorain City Schools Television at 282-8400.